Hey, Governor, welcome. How are you? Have a seat, please. I like your boots.
I do too. They're comfortable.
So you've had a busy week here. Your brother, former President George W. Bush, out on the campaign trail. Your mom has been out with you. We're honored that she's here with us tonight. What's it like campaigning with your family?
Well, it's a blast being with George because I love him dearly, and this is the first time out that he had been campaigning for a candidate, and I'm honored that he did it for me. I would have been disappointed had he not done it for me, to be honest with you. And my mother is a superstar. She is, people just love her dearly, and I do too. So, a couple of weeks ago, she was out campaigning in New Hampshire, and it was the first time she'd seen snow in a while. So we brought her to the warmer climes of South Carolina for tomorrow on our bus tour, so it's better.
I want to ask you about a couple of things in the news before we go to the questions from voters here. Today, as you probably know, the Pope waded in to America's immigration debate, suggesting Donald Trump is not Christian when he talked about building a wall. Are you and the Pope on the same page here?
Well, I always get in trouble when the Pope says things because I'm a Catholic. I'm informed by my faith, and he is an inspirational leader of my church. But I don't question people's Christianity. I think that's a relationship they have with their Lord and Savior and themselves. So I just don't think it's appropriate to question Donald Trump's faith. He knows what his faith is, and if he has a relationship with the Lord, fantastic. If he doesn't, it's none of my business.
Earlier in the week, your Twitter account, you tweeted a photo of a gun inscribed with your name and the word America.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was at a gun manufacturer here in Columbia, South Carolina, and I received that gun as a gift. And it was, first of all, I had a phenomenal town hall meeting with workers that were concerned about economic security and national security. They sell a lot of what they make to the military, and they've seen the gutting of the military in terms of the sequester. They're concerned about that. They're concerned about their jobs. They're concerned about Obamacare. We had a lively discussion, and I wanted to pay tribute to them by showing off the gun they gave me. And also wanted to show that I believe the Second Amendment is as important part of the Bill of Rights as any of the other amendments to the Bill of Rights, and that we ought to be protective of it. And a lot's riding with Anton Scalia's passing. Now we're going to have a conversation this election about a lot of important things, including the Second Amendment. And as governor of the state of Florida, I was A+ rated for 8 years in a row. And I believe that we should protect the rights of law-abiding citizens and focus our efforts on putting bad people away that use guns illegally for a long while. That's what we did in Florida. We got 1.5 million concealed weapon permit holders in Florida, which is double the next state. But we've also seen double-digit reductions in gun violence, because if you commit a crime with a gun in Florida, you're going to prison. There's a minimum mandatory sentence, and I think that's the proper approach. So
Would you change the president's recent executive actions on guns?
Yes, I would. He doesn't have the authority to do that. This is the problem with our president. He's given up working with Congress, and I think he's trampling on the Constitution each and every time he does this. The intention, look, I don't necessarily agree with what he did. And it's a response to the San Bernardino killings. That was an act of terror. That was not random gun violence. But the better way to do that, for example, on the mental health element of this, which I think there's a convergence of interest between left and right on that. Why not go to Congress and see if you could work with conservatives in the Congress to make sure that people that are mentally deranged don't have access to guns? There's ways to do this. But trampling over the Constitution, using authority you don't have, we're at the law school here. I hope at least the law school students would appreciate the fact that when the president doesn't have authority, he should not go beyond what the Constitution allows him to do.
The governor of this state, Nikki Haley, as you know, obviously endorsed Senator Rubio. That's obviously a powerful endorsement in the state.
I'm marking her down as neutral.
Is that right? Is that right? All right. It's one way to look at it. How do you convince voters in this state, supporters, your own supporters, because I know you've been hearing from them in town halls, how do you convince them that you have momentum, that you have a path forward?
Well, I do have momentum if you look at the polls, and if you look at the crowd sizes of our town hall meetings and the enthusiasm that exists. I'm proud that Lindsey Graham is supporting me. Look, he could have supported two of his colleagues, Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. He's worked with them in the United States Senate. He chose me because he believes that I would be ready to serve on day one as Commander-in-Chief and leader of the free world. And that's a pretty ringing endorsement for a guy who's probably the leading national security expert in the United States Senate.
You speak about your dad, former President Bush, often on the campaign trail, or when asked about him on the campaign trail. How has he impacted the way you run, the way you live your life?
Wow. Now I'm going to get emotional. He's the greatest man alive. Look, my wife and I have been married 42 years, and next week. And about... I wasn't pausing for that. Thank you for the round of applause. I was pausing because I was trying to not get emotional here about my dad. About when I was 25, I think, I decided, normally when you're with, at least I'm a hard-charging, striving person, I always want to, people like to strive to be like your parents, It's kind of a natural thing to do. I realized pretty quickly in my life, if I could be half the man my dad was, that would be a pretty good goal. If I tried to strive to be as good as him, it would be impossible. I'd be on a couch getting therapy all the time. My dad is just, put aside the fact that he was the first, the youngest Navy pilot in World War II, served this country in so many different ways, including being president. He's just a fine man, a person of integrity, of honesty, of courage, all the virtues that you would want to have to be inspired by. This guy is the real deal. And so half the man of George Bush means you could live a life of purpose and meaning as far as I'm concerned.
I want you to meet